Our next guest, she's not Colombian. She comes from Canada, from Quebec. Her name is Isabelle Savard. And she came to Bogota to work in the med school here in Javeriana with other universities. And we're very interested on the colloque of CORSAC frame to talk with her about how in Canada they're looking for innovation in education and what differences have she seen so far in her experience in Bogota. So Isabel, welcome to the CORSAC Forum. Welcome to Bogota.
Thank you.
How has been your experience so far in Colombia?
I really enjoyed Colombia. We came a big group of researchers from the network of University of Quebec. It is 10 different institutions, and I come from one that is only distance learning institution, so all our courses are distance learning. So we came here to exchange between Colombian professors and professors from Quebec.
And so far, how have you find the differences and the similitudes of the way you guys been approaching to education and the way you've seen here in Colombia, how we approach to education?
I have not been here long enough to be able to talk about the differences. Because we exchange on really definite subject. Okay. So we had exchange that were really interesting about how we could collaborate, but we didn't have enough time to exchange about our practice, about what we do in our respective countries.
And what is your subject of study back home?
Back home, I'm a professor in instructional design and educational technology. Okay. So I teach how to plan instruction and learning, and especially distance learning, online learning, and also the use of technology to be used for education, for pedagogy.
And how has been the approach in Canada for the studying via internet or studying through these technological platforms? Do you think there's a big change towards that new way of studying, or it's just becoming to support the traditional way of learning?
You know, in our own institution, we are doing it since 45 years, so it's not new for us, but we have many different new tools to use. So it evaluated a lot, because 45 years ago we used to send package to learner, and we did not have the online platform that we have today. Okay. Because today we have a learning platform online where we can manage everything, all the assignment I have to mark, all the students that are under my responsibility. I can see it on one board. And I can communicate with them with different tools. For example, we use Skype, we can use Zoom. We also have a learning platform, different learning platform, but I use Moodle a lot in combination with WordPress, which is a blog platform. Yeah. And yes, so I have students that are in China, some are in northern part of Canada, Quebec, others, maybe I will have some from Colombia, but the distance is not a challenge anymore, because even when I'm traveling, I can teach my students. So it's an advantage, but also an inconvenience, because we work all the time.
Yeah, you don't have any vacations.
Now our work is following us.
And how has the innovation been a challenge for you to keep on up to date on the way people is learning nowadays?
The challenge for me is to always integrate the learner in the design thinking process. So I think it's really important to keep in mind that we are working for the learner, and the learner can be a good source of information for us in the design of the instruction. And I think it's important also, of course, probably you think the same way, but to keep the learner active. So especially in distance learning, if we keep them passive, looking at one video for an hour or two, it's not exactly a good way to keep them interested and motivated. So we used to morcelate, do short pieces of instruction, and we try to alternate between instruction and activities, learning activities, and we try to bring the learners together through discussion forums or through blogs or sometimes virtual classroom where people can be at the same time online and we can exchange live. But this is becoming more difficult when we have learners from different time zones.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because we have to plan, the time is quite difficult to find to accommodate everybody.
And the main language is English or French?
The main language in our institution is French, okay. But the learner are often allowed to make their assignment in English or even in Spanish. Okay. It depends on the language the person will mark, can understand.
Of course.
Yeah.
And do you feel the whole system of education in the world is going to change anytime soon into this type of learning? Or you feel this type of traditional ways of learning, the university, the institution, the buildings, the classrooms, are going to still have an important space in the learning process of each student?
I think I don't know here, but in Canada, every institution are trying to offer distance learning courses.
As a complement?
As a complement or as a choice.
Okay.
And we see also that many hybrid courses are coming on. So hybrid is partly online and partly in presence. Yeah. So I think hybrid is an interesting way. Even in distance learning, we often offer internship. For example, maybe one of my students will come for an internship here in Colombia to help the Faculty of Medicine to build a program in health sciences pedagogy. So my student is studying how to do instructional design. So she studies online, but she could come to do an internship on the field.
And when your students have to do something physical, like a model or something in engineering,
yes.
How is the process to know that that student is doing a good job and to evaluate the product of that student?
We have internships for this part where they need to internship is really important, so we can have it anywhere. We just have to find one person to be the supervisor, and the professor who is the one who teach can do the teaching online in collaboration with the supervisor that is on spot.
Okay. And how many students do you have? I mean, if you were a professor in a classroom, you'll go inside and you'll see 20-25 people as students.
Yeah.
How's your case? How many students do you have to evaluate per assignment?
It's really particular in the Téluq University because we have flexibility, complete flexibility, so the learner can come in the courses whenever they want. We don't have a start date and an end date. So all the courses are planned for 3-credit courses planned for 15 weeks. Okay. And the student can enter in the course in September or in November. So it depends because the students who are in my course are not at the same place at the same time. Okay. Okay. So this is a big challenge to design the courses because we cannot easily plan discussion with the whole group because they are not at the same place at the same time. But in a certain manner, it's really interesting because we can do peer teaching with the students who are more advanced and the other who are beginners.
Yeah. And what's the average time an average student takes to finish the course and to get a degree?
It depends. Many of our students are working at the same time as they are studying, so many of them are studying part-time, so the path is longer. And other students are coming in just to, they took a break of studying in presence or work, and they want to do it really intensively, so they are going faster.
And that student that takes the fast pace, how much time would it take for him or her to finish the complete course?
If the course is planned on 15 weeks, I think the faster student can do it in 9 or 10 weeks.
Okay. And with that, he or she gets a diploma, or it's like the first?
Yeah, we have a real diploma.
But the ceremony is, you just
the
send...
ceremony is big in prisons,
Okay.
but not everybody can come.
Okay.
But our students really like to come to this ceremony because it's really symbolic, and all the professors are there also because we are really happy to see them in person.
Get to know them.
Yeah, but many of my students come to see me in my office also.
Okay.
Because they want to talk about their project, and they want some may even work in our office. We can provide them a computer and an office.
Yeah.
And since I'm traveling a lot, sometimes I can meet also my students. Yeah.
What do you feel are the pros and the cons of online teaching, or teaching at a distance?
To me, when I started to do this, I was a bit worried about the contact, but since I'm doing it since many years now, I really do think that la distance rapproche. Distance can make you closer, because when you are in a classroom with many students, you cannot talk to everybody. But when you are at distance, you always have the opportunity to talk to every one of your students, and they feel they have personal contact with you, and they can go to their own rhythm, their own
pace
of learning.
Okay.
And they can they can go back to the course and rework one part that they did not understand well. And when you are in a classroom and the professor is speaking and you become a bit, your brain is somewhere else, you cannot come back and catch what you lost.
And what about the challenge of having the focus of one person, regardless where she or he is, with all the social media and all the tons of information that it's getting?
Oh, we are using it. We are using it every time. In the design of our courses, we try to take the student to see this professor on YouTube or this other video, or maybe we try some interview. When we travel, sometimes we interview colleagues that we can bring into our course, and they don't have to be physically in our institution, because we have the like you do, you will have the video, so you will be able to use this in different contexts.
Yes, that's actually the idea of this version of the Corsac Forum.
Okay.
For other people in other places have the chance to see what's going on in different business industries and with people. What about your expectations when you came to Colombia? What were you expecting to find? What you thought you were going to see here in Bogota versus reality? What you've seen so far? I know it's been too short, only a week.
Yeah, but I hope I will come back.
Sure.
I think we'll build collaboration that will make some Colombians who will visit us, and that we will come back. It was a complete surprise for me, this colloque. I did not know what I should expect. I came here with the open mind, and I was ready to learn and to collaborate and to see what was possible. And I'm really impressed by by the University of La Javeriana, and I also met professors from other universities. And what is really impressive is your desire to collaborate with the international, and also it seems to me that your government is putting a lot of efforts in education and in research and in innovation. So it's really attractive for us to collaborate with you, because I think the doors are open for innovation, and I really enjoy innovation in education.
And so far, from what you've seen so far, what suggestions would you have for the process you saw, for the people you met, for what you've seen in this week of work?
I would just say keep this way and keep working this way, and I hope we will have opportunities to collaborate. I was with the Faculty of Medicine yesterday. I think we'll build a collaboration there, and I was really impressed by the fact that the hospital is with the Faculty of Medicine. In Canada, it is separated.
There's no universities with their own hospitals?
They are not in the same place.
Yeah, okay.
In the same place, but we have universities that are working with hospitals. So I've been working in health sciences pedagogy for the last maybe 10 years. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But when you say that they're in the same place, but it's from the same university.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So
they are
same,
linked together,
yeah.
but not physically at the same place.
Yeah, I understand. Well, actually, Javeriana, I guess it's an exception, because Rosario's hospital is in another place, and same from Los Andes. And the public university, they had to close it down a couple of years ago, which was too bad. But Javeriana is an example of how to link the med school with what's going on in the real life.
Yeah. So.
And what about within Canada? The relationship and your approach to learning within other universities and other institutions in Canada?
Yeah, in Canada we have different institutions. I'm collaborating with many institutions who have Faculty of Medicine, of course, because I'm often demandé. I'm often asked to work with them. But we came here as a big network of all the university. It's called Université du Québec. It's 10 or 11 different universities that are grouped together in a big network. So we came here all together to all work with the Colombians. So the big surprise was that we found out that it was interesting to create more links between us also, the different institutions in that network. And that's what we will work on over the next month. And we will come back with a strong collaboration, I hope so, with the Colombian universities in that network.
What would be your suggestion to a 6th or 7th semester student, regardless the career he or she is doing, towards the challenges of what's going on right now in Canada or in the world, as for their own approach to learning?
Be open.
Okay.
Be open to different manner of studying, and do not try to reproduce the traditional way. Be open to everything that is there, and be really careful about the different source of information, because we have a lot of information, but not all the information is valuable and scientific. So we have to learn how to analyze which information is good or not.
One of the main subjects that has been arising during these interviews and through the CORSAC forum is how criteria is built. In the end, what you've just said, the other guests have also said about it, and it's you have to have your own criteria to know what's true, what's solid, and what's just fake or nice, right? How do you think criteria is built within a student in a university either presence or online courses?
But I cannot talk about what is happening here, but in Canada, my daughter was in secondary school, and they teach her in secondary school how to judge a source of information and how to find good sources of information. So I think that the generation which is coming in is already trained to judge the information and to use many medias and to challenge the information.
So it's basically a methodology, right? A
Yes.
way of knowing where you're getting the information from,
Yes.
and getting to know who that person behind the information is, what has she or he done.
Exactly. We have different criteria that I cannot talk, but we have grid to evaluate the different sources of information, and it helps to be sure that it is a good source of information.
Do you think there's more competition as an educational institution in the online world or in the physical world?
Good question. I don't know. To be honest, I really prefer collaboration to competition,
That's good.
but sometimes I find myself quite naive. But yeah, I prefer to put my energy on collaboration. And it is also the mentality of our university, Téluq. We try to collaborate. We are a small university, and we have 18,000 students.
18,000 students.
18,000.
And it's only undergrad programs.
No.
Also masters
For
and-
example, in the education department, we
Yes.
have mainly second cycle and
So master's programs.
yeah, masters, and we are preparing one doctorate that we will offer in May. I'm building the program now.
And as a student, sorry, a student that does a master programs in your university will receive a diploma from this university, which has been approved from the Educational Ministry
Exactly.
of Canada.
Exactly.
And then in their own hometown, they have to legalize it and do the procedures so it works in their country.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
As a normal, I mean, as
Yes.
a traditional physical
And
university.
also for a student that comes from another country, he has some procedure to do
homologate.
to yeah.
Homologate
Yeah.
the
But we
process.
are really used to it, so it goes.
18,000 students.
Yes.
So that's big.
Yeah.
At least in Bogota, that's big.
Okay.
That's roughly what Javeriana has in their undergrad
Okay.
programs.
Yeah.
So 18,000. And from those 18,000 students, how many are from Canada, and what percentage?
Good
from abroad?
question. I cannot tell you honestly.
Your
I don't
guess,
know.
50-50 or?
Probably more than 50 are Canadians. Yeah, the majority is Canadian,
Okay.
but we are getting more and more students that are coming from other countries, and especially if we can open the assignment to be in other languages, I think it's more interesting for students who are not French speaker. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. We just have a new journal also in our institution that is in the three languages. So you can publish in Spanish, in French, and in English in this educational technology journal.
How has been the penetration of Spanish language in teaching and in learning in this process in Canada, and especially in your university? Do you feel there's even more people talking Spanish?
Yes.
And
Yes.
it's because of new generations learning Spanish, or because of migration?
It's because of international students becoming more and more interested in distance learning and in the program we offer by distance learning in Canada. So, and we have language courses that can be done by distance. So we have Spanish, French, and English. When I come back, I will take Spanish.
Well, we hope when next time you come to Colombia, you'll be fluent in Spanish.
Maybe I will be able to do the
Well,
interview.
Isabel, thank you very much for
Thank
your
you.
time. Thank you very much for being in Bogota in this program. I really hope you had a good time, and especially you come back with more people to
I hope so.
continue this
I'm in
project.
love with your campus. It's so beautiful.
That's good to hear. So thank you very much. Thank
Thank
you
you.
for having in the CORSAC forum, and we'll keep on talking with new guests about innovation and education.